Hello?
Hey Tom, it's Shoutout over at Serve. Did I catch you at a bad time?
No sir, perfect time. What can I do for you?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I'm just reaching out to you with respect to that question you actually posed to our customer service operation. And I just wanted to take a moment to reach out to you just to make sure we were all on the same page with respect to information, processes, procedures, things of that nature.
Sure.
After doing a comprehensive review of your request, looking at the product, things of that nature, the first thing I would like to do at this juncture is thank you very much for escalating this concern that you had to us, because again, it's something that we really, really appreciate when our users actually bring these things to the forefront.
Okay.
With that being said, even though it is possible to use this particular product to do what you indicated, I would not recommend going that route at this juncture.
Okay, can I get an explanation why, please?
Sure, absolutely. The reason being, again, the way this product is designed is to actually move funds between an individual to another individual, and not necessarily for the purpose of financial gain.
Okay, care to elaborate?
Sure, absolutely. And looking at the direction you're looking at heading in, of course, as you know, based on the way this product is set up, the different regulations, things of that nature, it's driven more so by buyer beware, pretty much indicating that, hey, you know what, you potentially realize the risk in this case.
Okay.
So with that being said, I mean, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you were to actually go ahead and use this particular product to orchestrate the cards, so on and so forth, that you get involved in, and at the end of the day, you have one of your recipients come back and say, hey, you know what, I'm not too happy with the service, I'm not too happy with, the performance or the end result, so on and so forth, and at that point, the provider is actually stuck with that bill.
And the provider is whom?
American Express in this case.
Okay, so what you're saying is that if someone who uses your service that chose to participate in one of our group breaks decided that they were not pleased with the results of that individual break, that they could, in fact, call your company and make a complaint against the person who collected that money for that group break, and then that could result in that person either having those funds removed and returned to the original sender, or some sort of disciplinary action taken against them and their account.
Let's actually pause for a second. I wouldn't necessarily say any type of disciplinary action and things of that nature just yet, but it could go down the path where accounts and things of that nature are looked at a little bit more carefully.
And what is your definition of looking at an account more carefully?
Monitored for activity that's outside of the scope of the product.
Okay. What is your understanding of what I explained to Heidi and Diane, and I'm sorry, I forgot the third phone rep's name, who I've spoken to since the end of last week about this? Would it help you in this conversation if I re-explained what it is that we intend to do, and then you explain to me whether or not that falls into, as you put it, the scope of your product?
If you would like to, I'll be more than happy to just verify the information that you're providing me with versus the information I was provided with as well, too.
Okay. So we are in a social network of mutual hobby enthusiasts when it comes to sports cards and collectibles. Okay. And as this has moved into an online format, some folks a number of years ago decided that it would be a good idea to mutually share the cost of opening large dollar amounts of sports cards. because I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, but some of them can get very pricey. There's a number of products that were just released for football, for example, that you can buy a case of cards, which would yield a grand total of about 36 cards, and it would cost you roughly $2,000. So that there's a substantial potential dollar investment, and even for some folks to purchase a single box of these cards, you're looking at $500, which is beyond some people's budgets. So what these people did was they developed a system in which, instead of having one person go out and spend $500 on a box, they decided, well, we're going to get a few of these boxes and divide the cost by 30. And each of those 30 spots, or these 32 spots in the case of football, would represent each of the NFL or Major League Baseball or basketball or hockey, whatever the sport happens to be, that number of teams.
Correct.
So each person would pay an amount equal to the divided cost of the product, the cost of postage, the cost of supplies in order to protect the cards, package them, and put them into the mail, and any associated fees through whatever carrier electronically of those funds would be, which up until this point has been primarily PayPal, and there have been a couple other services that have been used. And once all those monies have been collected, each person would receive per spot purchased one random team, and then that amount of unopened product would then a baseball card, football card product would be opened, and then each card that came from that what we call group break would go to the person whose team their spot was represented. Now, in some cases, teams that were particularly popular, tendency for baseball, for example, would be the Yankees. They would tend to do very well. And then other teams that maybe didn't have quite so many players in the product would not do as well. But once again, it's random, because there have been times where that's been the exact opposite. So it is completely random by nature, because you don't know what the contents of those unopened card boxes are. And then once the product has been opened, everything's been sorted out, the person hosting the group break sends the cards out to their recipients, and provided that they're received in a timely and safe manner, there tend not to be issues. So the problem that we've run into is some of our previous payment hosting systems, to name one, PayPal, have deemed that system could be construed as gambling, which they don't condone. Because when you send money from the buyer of the spot to the host of the group break, that buyer does not explicitly know what he or she is getting in return. Now, even though this person is willingly getting involved in this break and understands the risk involved, they determine that they just, from whatever corporate standpoint, legal standpoint, moral standpoint, they've never clearly explained that to us, see that as wrong, and usually without any sort of system of appeals, will seize the account and whatever funds happen to be in that account, and tell the people that they can't access it for whatever the period of time happens to be. So that's why we sought out an alternative and landed to your company. So what I'm looking at to get answered is one very simple question. Will Serve.com approve of our community bringing our business to you for the specific purpose of conducting group breaks, as I just explained in that little diatribe I just went on?
Thank you very much, Tom, and that actually helped immensely in terms of clarifying the underlying issue, and the answer to your question is no. Because again, based on what you described to me, yes, much like PayPal, the stand that Serve is actually taking on this particular request is that yes, it does resemble gambling. And again, the key driver here is the recipient is not 100% entirely certain as to what they can expect to receive after their purchase is made.
Okay. So then my next question is, if we were to use your service and we instead of had people purchase spots in a group break, we're selling a specific item. We'll call it, for the sake of argument, the autograph of the person hosting the break.
Okay.
And that's all the person was guaranteed. It's like you would send money from person A to person B, and person B would send them their autograph, just their signature on a piece of paper. And then if they purchase that, and it would be a limited quantity, they would receive one spot in a free group break that could only be received if they make that purchase of that autograph as a bonus. It's a free bonus that you get a spot in the break if you purchase this person's autograph. Is that something that would still fall under your definition of gambling?
Actually, no, that would not, because again, the wild card in that particular scenario that you just explained is the fact that, hey, you've removed the unknown. It's a known now. And again, the unknown piece of it is actually a bonus that is part of a package that you are purchasing. Okay,
so if I were to sign up for Serve and get 29 of my friends to sign up for Serve tonight, and tomorrow I wanted to go out and sell 30 of my autographs, and I would get 30 of my friends, and I would sell 30 of my autographs, and each of those people would be guaranteed to get my autograph in the mail, along with whatever they would happen to get with a free group break spot as a bonus. Your company would condone that?
Well, again, as I indicated to you here, it's no longer an unknown situation, it's a known, and based on my understanding of what you've just explained to me, that does not fit the definition of gambling. Okay. Well,
my next question is if I give you my email address, could you send me something that would I could show in writing to my contemporaries, just so that they know that this conversation took place, and that there won't be any questions later as to the context, and they won't have to go through a 3-day, half a dozen phone call process to get the same verification that I just got?
Here's what I would recommend. The information I provided to you this afternoon is actually what was pulled from the guidelines outlined in the Serve User Agreement.
And what specific web address would that be found under?
Serve.com.
Okay, so if I go to Serve.com's main page,
and you look for the Serve User Agreement, it's all outlined in there.
Okay, let's see, Serve User Agreement. Okay. Wow, this is a very long document.
Right.
Where does the information that you just gave to me, where does that appear in this document?
If you look for where it says arbitration.
Agreement to arbitrate disputes?
Somewhere in there you should be able to pull that information. Yes, I actually got it from a number of different places. I wish I could say there was one spot.
Okay, but the primary crux of this issue that we discussed would be found under this agreement to arbitrate disputes, and its A through F subsections.
That is correct, Tom. Yes.
Okay. Okay, well, I appreciate your time, Sheldon. I see this as something that's very promising, and I hope to bring this to some of the folks that have been involved in this sort of business, and hopefully get some positive results for everyone involved and some new business for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tom. And again, I really want to thank you very much for bringing this this one concern you had to the forefront and giving us an opportunity to take a step back and review this in its entirety, just to make sure we were all looking at it with the same set of eyes.
Sheldon, I appreciate that. As I explained to Heidi, it is my stern belief that we have two things to spend as people. We either have time or we have money. And I was willing to spend the time after some of my counterparts had spent the money and unfortunately received less than favorable results. And now hopefully we can bring some of that money your way.
Thank you very much, Tom. You have a great afternoon, sir.
You as well, Sheldon. It's been a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody, you heard it. 866-352-5919. If you call that phone number, you will get a serve.com corporate office response automated system. And that was Sheldon that I spoke to at extension 3003. So as of today, serve.com does condone the sale of your autograph on a piece of paper for whatever price you deem necessary. Enough of looking at my groin there. For whatever price that you deem necessary, and the price can fluctuate if necessary. And in addition, you can give away a free spot in a group break. So thanks to serve.com, you've done a great service for the YouTube card collecting community. Peace.